Oliver Rowland is currently the top driver in Formula E, sitting atop the standings with 2 wins in 4 races, and had it not been for a penalty in Brazil and a late lunch from Gunther in Jeddah, Rowland very easily could have won every single race this season. But just over a year and a half ago, Oliver Rowland was out of Formula E after choosing to leave the Mahindra team mid-season. Little would we know that this move would effectively save the Brit's Formula E career. Rowland's path to Formula E is one well-trodden. Junior Formula success, a bit of stagnation around the F2 mark, and after F1 dreams faded away, Formula E became the best viable option. Drafted in late to replace the F1-bound Alex Albon, Rowland's first 2 seasons with the Nissan EDAMS team were quite good. 2 podiums in Season 5 and a 10th in the standings, and a victory the next season with a P5 in the standings. Nissan's pace, however, dropped significantly during the wild Season 7, dropping from 2nd in the team standings to 10th. Rowland, though, outperformed veteran teammate Buemi and managed 2 podiums alongside heaps more points. For Season 8, Rowland decided to leave Nissan and join the Mahindra team, the team he'd made his FE debut in back in Season 2. Though only speculated at the time, the deal was intended to be long-term, or at least long for Formula E standards, lasting till at least 2025. The 2022 season was up and down for Mahindra and Rowland especially, retiring from 8 of 16 races. In the races he finished, however, he scored double the points of teammate Alexander Sims, including a brilliant pole position, which translated to a runner-up finish in Seoul. Despite finishing 8th in the team standings, Mahindra had its eyes set on starting the Gen 3 era strong in 2023. Signing champion Lucas Di Grassi, Mahindra boasted a fairly strong driver lineup heading into the year, and it began bright with Di Grassi scoring the pole and a P3 finish in the season opener. From there, it was downhill. Whether it was lack of pace, bad luck, or the new unpredictable peloton racing, Rowland and Di Grassi struggled to consistently find the points. Freak instances such as all the Mahindra-powered cars withdrawing from the Cape Town E-Prix, or a harsh penalty in Hyderabad killed all momentum Rowland may have been building. And by the halfway point of the season, he'd had enough. Just a few weeks following a tough Monaco E-Prix, Rowland announced he would step away from the Mahindra team. What he didn't expect, however, was for Mahindra to kick him out immediately mid-season. Rowland was fully planning on finishing out the year with the team before moving on, but the announcement came as a bit of a shock to him. Nevertheless, Rowland wasn't too affected. "I wanted to finish the season in a good way, but I didn't have the chance to do that anymore. It was a bit of a surprise, and it came at a relatively short notice, but all the better. I had plans up my sleeve anyway. I'm in a better position now and much happier." Thus began Rowland's free agency, but all signs pointed towards him returning to his former team Nissan, a move which was confirmed just a few months later. At the time, a few Formula E fans, including myself, were a little skeptical of the move, especially considering Rowland would be replacing Norman Nato, who had just scored a podium with the team. In time, however, we'd all eat our words. When Season 10 began, Rowland's 7-month hiatus wouldn't slow him down in the slightest. He'd score his first pole position in 2 years in Diriyah, which would kick off a 4-race podium stretch, ending with his second career Formula E victory in Misano. The next day, he'd lose sweeping the weekend in heartbreaking fashion, but consistent points finishes would launch him up into title contention with 4 races left. Unfortunately, it would be illness that would force him to miss the Portland doubleheader, knocking him out of the running. However, he closed out the year with one final victory in London, ending up 4th in the driver's standings, an incredible recovery from the disappointment of the year prior. And fast forward to today, and he's the undisputed championship favorite 4 rounds in, with a win and 2 runner-up finishes. But taking a look back, to be where Rowland is now would have been a pipe dream back in 2023. Ultimately, it wasn't just his decision to leave that saved his career, but also Mahindra's decision to let him go mid-season. Nissan were rumored to have been in talks with Nick DeVries to drive for them in 2024, but due to some delays in his plans, Nissan opted to sign Rowland instead. But had Rowland waited till the end of the season to look for a seat elsewhere, it's very likely that the Nissan seat wouldn't have been available, leaving him a free agent with very little time to find a competitive ride. What do you think of this story? Do you think Mahindra were in the right to drop Rowland after he wished to step away? And do you think Rowland could take the championship this year after an incredible start? I'd love to hear what you think.